Welcome back to a new video here at Life of the Bridges. Coming up in this video, we were meant to be meeting a big milestone on Teddy's road to recovery, which, let's just say, doesn't go to plan at all, which leads to a very tough day for our little cub. But if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. But for now, let's get this week underway.
We are starting this video with meeting a huge milestone that we have had in the diary for such a long time. And unfortunately, it does mean we are entering hospital today. And I say we, I actually mean Katie and my mum and Teddy have gone to hospital this morning because they had to be there at 7:45 this morning. As what we are doing today is continuing on the process of testing his cortisone levels in his body. If you remember 3 months ago, we actually are starting to reduce his hydrocortisone medication in hope that it allows Teddy's body to kickstart his adrenal glands to start producing his own cortisone. He has had this in deficiency since his treatment, and his hydrocortisone is one of the 2 medications that we are currently left on. And so it's a big thing. Like, if we can somehow manage to help his body start to produce his own cortisone levels, then it will mean that we'll only be left with 1 medication out of the 32 that we got discharged with.
So Teddy was due to have a test called the SYNACTHENTEST, which in short, the process is firstly cannulate Teddy, then take a baseline blood sample from the cannula so they knew his levels of cortisol in his body. Then they would administer a synthetic hormone called synacthin into his bloodstream, which should trigger the body's shock response and in turn stimulate the body's adrenal glands to produce cortisol to suppress the shock response. To test this, they will then take levels of cortisol in Teddy's body after 30 minutes and 60 minutes to see if Teddy's body produced the required amount of cortisol on its own, so we can hopefully stop this medication we are currently given to him on a daily basis.
That is the process in a nutshell. It is all currently happening as we speak. I'm waiting to hear from Katie. It's all a very quick test now. The cannula is in and the blood's been taken and the medication's been given. It's pretty straightforward. They've just got to take 2 more sets of bloods and then hope that the body is producing its own cortisone. So yeah, it should be all pretty straightforward. That is what we are doing today. I'm just closely liaising with my mum and Katie just to kind of keep in the loop. So not only are we having his cortisol test today, we're also having his every 3 monthly bloods done. And our last appointment that we have as part of this sort of hospital trip is we have had a referral to a dietitian from our local hospital, which Katie is going to be meeting at 9:30 today, just to kind of help get a little bit of guidance and assistance in Teddy's sort of dietary issues and needs in terms of progressing forward with a little bit more nutrition in his diet. So that is the third thing that is happening today. So lots of progress hopefully being made over the next sort of 24 hours. And yeah, if his body doesn't produce the right amount of cortisone, then I guess we're going to have to go to plan B and look into further details to why his body isn't producing it on his own. So I don't know what that looks like yet, but obviously we'll keep you very much in the loop in terms of what the plan is going forward. So a bit of an update going on from Teddy and his hospital appointment today. It is all complete and they are on their way home, and it was all very successful. In terms of the results, we haven't got anything back as of yet, but the one thing that we are pleased with is that the hospital day is now done and they are on a one-way ticket home.
One-way ticket? If only that was the case. Turns out that we were going to have a return ticket.
My mum said that Teddy was like super brave and just done us proud once again. So I guess now the wait for the results begins, and there's quite a few results that we are actually waiting for. So that is a sort of little roundup about how today went. And also on the topic of health, regarding our last video and Teddy's tick bite, although as I said last week that we do know that kind of symptoms can take 2 to 3 weeks if they are going to develop for Lyme disease or anything else. But the imminent ones that we were looking for was any swelling or fevers that were coming from the actual tick bite itself and the site of the bite, and touch wood, that seems to all have gone down, and we're hoping that we have dodged a bullet. Doesn't mean that we are forgetting about that situation. We're obviously still monitoring him closely, but the fact that he's gone and had a full blood count today, and although it doesn't test for Lyme disease, what it does do is it will kind of sharp any red flags if there is any concerns regarding the full blood count. So that's a little update with the whole tick scenario. We just wait for the results now and keep everything crossed and then come up with a plan going forward.
By the time I got back from the dog walk, our little boy was exhausted, so Katie had put Teddy down for a nap, and we received an unexpected phone call from the hospital.
So we have just had a phone call from the hospital, and they have ordered us to be bringing Teddy in pretty sharpish to rerun his bloods, because his white blood cells are low, his neutrophils are low, his platelets are dangerously low, and so are his red blood cells. And unfortunately he's currently having a nap because obviously he's just had a really busy morning, having all his bloods taken, his hydro test and what have you. But we're in this sort of situation now where do we let him nap or do we just get this ball rolling? But it's pretty worrying. So we're basically going in to rerun the bloods to check that what the levels have come back like are true, and if so, then they're going to need to do a lot more checks. Poor boy, 2 hospital visits in one day. But more to the point, what on earth is going on? So we're going to get bags packed and spend the rest of our day going to understand what is going on.
As much as we knew our little boy needed sleep, the numbers we had just received were dangerously low, so unfortunately, sleep wasn't our priority, and nor was letting mine and Kate's minds just wander as parents, not knowing what was going on, or more to the point, what was potentially to come. And if those numbers were true, then something needed to be done immediately. The hospital was so busy and we couldn't get parked, so Kay took Teddy in to start the ball rolling whilst I just waited in the car to try and find a parking space. And although the uncontrollable fear of the if buts and maybes of the unknown was starting to set in, something that gave us a little bit of hope and confidence of this somehow being one big mistake was that our little boy was presenting so well and didn't have any noticeable signs for us to worry about. So we tried to stay calm and keep hope that this was just one big hospital muck up and we weren't about to walk into a shitstorm again.
It's hard to not panic in situations like this, guys, especially when you hear the kind of worry in the nurse's voice about how bad his bloods look. And this is obviously, as I said to you earlier, we haven't had bloods done for like a good 3 months because we're kind of progressing further out of transplant. So if it's not a mistake and those bloods are genuine, we don't know how long his bloods have been that low for. But we're not going to read into it. I'm not going to overly overthink into things because it could be a mistake. And if it's not, then we deal with it. But a day with 2 cannulations, poor boy. And I just discussed with Kate what the best option is, because if these bloods are correct, so the full blood count is what we're getting, and if the bloods come back exactly the same and they are dangerously low, then we obviously are going to need to stay in overnight and monitor him overnight and do more tests to why his bloods are like this. So yeah, madness. We are just hoping that this is a muck up, and it's just beyond me that this is even an option, that blood could be mucked up or a bad reading for a mistake of the hospitals. But once again, we wait. Absolute madness. But for now, let's go and get this job done. Finally, got a parking space. So into hospital we go.
We didn't know whether this was going to be a short or a long experience, but what we did know is our boy needed his home comforts and things to keep him happy and entertained. Once again, we found ourselves on that fence in life again. One side of the fence, we go back to normal and head home. The other side, things get serious, and ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, it's not a fence that you ever want to sit on. On arrival in the hospital, we were seen pretty quickly, and we managed to get the bloods taken again, and then had the decision to whether to head back home and await the results, or sit in the hospital and wait. Trust me when I say this, that none of us wanted to stay in the hospital any longer than necessary. But as a parent, there are many elements of this process in which you have to navigate, with the main priority being what's best for Teddy. Because we had told Teddy when we woke him up from his nap that we were quickly going back to the doctors one more time. If for whatever reason we chose to leave the hospital and wait for the results at home and the bloods were bad, then it would inevitably mean we'd have to return back to hospital again, which in turn would be a lie that we would have told our boy, and trust me, he is clever enough to remember this. So we opted for all the time he was happy, distracted and not overly distressed. We thought it was best just to wait in the hospital for the results, so we were already there if any further actions were needed. After about a 45-minute wait, our oncologist nurse returned back to the room with a piece of paper in her hand, which were the results of his bloods, and what we had hoped for was thankfully true. It was one big mistake. His bloods were all okay, and it was an error on the hospital's behalf, and this also meant his whole SYNACTHENTEST he had earlier to test his cortisol levels had failed as well, and it was all just one big waste of time. Amongst all the feelings of confusion to why this happened, or the anger and upset of having to put our boy through this today, we couldn't help but have this underlying feeling of relief that although yes, we had to come back and do it all over again on another day, we were still able to go back home together as the Bridge family and return back to our normal life, as today could have been very different if those blood results were true. I mean, very different. And for today, that was enough. So we headed home to regroup, breathe, and tomorrow was a new day.
Wow, It was just one big muck up from the hospital's perspective. The bloods came back and all his levels are fine. This is just his full blood count. Am I annoyed about that? Kind of, but this is the kind of situations that us as cancer parents and people that are in just the cancer world, just like an unnecessary worry that is brought on from hospitals, and it is what it is. I'm kind of exhausted by the whole situation, but Teddy's fine. He's doing amazingly. He was unbelievably brave, and I'm just once again incredibly proud of him. So proud. So
we finally got our boy back to the safety of Bridge HQ and reunited him with his animals, and just let the dust of today settle, and just simply felt grateful that nobody was spending the night in hospital tonight, and it was just another bump in the road, and we celebrated that small win by a good old pre-bed roller coaster in the washing basket.
good morning, chaps. Today is a new day. It is the morning after the day before of a bit of a bitty hospital day yesterday, and I've woken up with the attitude that I'm going to go and take my boy out today for a day of just fun and all the things he likes. I'm going to take him to a little miniature railway which has got loads of outdoor parks and slides and stuff that he likes to do because he absolutely deserves it. Let's go and have some fun, shall we? Daddy's not actually been here before, so you need to maybe show me how to do it, or show me how the railway works. Is that okay?
Yes, you go near the sit on the bottom and go down the wiggly slide like this.
Cool. I can't wait for you to show me, mate. Time to have a good old positive day with my boy. We are here at the Eastbourne Miniature Railway, and it's actually an adventure park with lots of slides and stuff like that, so Teddy's going to absolutely love this.
Railway!
A railway, is it? Okay, let's do it, mate. It is open? Well, look, he's off. He's off. He is literally gone. Nothing like waiting for me. Wow, look at all these swings and slides, Teddy bear. This is right up your street. Breath of fresh air, bit of positivity back in our life. Let's go. Time to do a shitload of sliding, I think. Whoa, good throw.
Show me what it's like to be circling among the clouds.
Wow.
On that big balloon!
Yeah, let's do that.
Because without you by my side, I would be stuck here on the ground. You're lighting up the way, I can see the road ahead of me. I won't be stumbling in the dark. Your eyes are shining like the stars. I was down until you saved me, until you set me free.
Look at you, I'm so proud of you, mate. You go enjoy it.
And I just wanted to say that you can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. I can see the sun staring at you when you make that smile. I'm moving closer to you now. I can't get close enough somehow. And I was down until you saved me, until you set me free. My eyes were closed, now I see clear as day. And I just wanted to say that you can take me high.
Here we go, Teddy, you're gonna go woohoo! Wow, how cool is this?
I don't need anybody, I don't need anybody else.
This is brilliant, is this?
No one will ever take me, no one will ever take me away from you. I promise I will hold on to you. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Is this not super cool? Wow, Teddy, we go so fast. We're gonna go for a tunnel. You ready?
You can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high. Feels like I can fly. You can take me high.
This is exactly what was needed. Time. Time, just me and my son, being back to normal and having the time to compute the last pretty rocky 24 hours. And a quote that I try to tell myself every day is that now and then it's good to pause our pursuit to happiness and just be happy. It's so easy to get caught up in chasing happiness and pursuing it and forgetting to enjoy the moments along the way. But the reality is, if we can't learn to be happy now, we won't even be happy when we get there. It's something I've struggled with for a while now, since leaving Great Ormond Street Hospital after our son's treatment, because we lost so much time fighting for his life in hospitals and even our life post-treatment, that I do get caught up in trying to make up time to find the next best thing in our life to fulfill that happiness quota, when actually sitting on a train with my son, who has his health, is more than any dream I could ever imagine. So by reminding myself of this quote each day is part of my journey in finding contentment in the now. And I hope this resonates and helps some of you guys as our lovely subscribers. We all know life never promises the end destination always, so why waste the journey getting there by being too busy chasing the dream? Have a think about it.
Look at this beautiful woodland walk, Teddy B. And we go over the bridge and then have a look at the maze. That sounds like a nice idea, doesn't it, mate? Let's do it. Wowee! They're little gnomes. You see all their little different animals. There's a badger, a frog. Put it in the hole. Wow, you made them work! Here comes Thomas. There he is. Wow! Can my daddy hold that? You throw it in the wishing well. That's it, in it goes. You make a wish. I think we all know what wish I'm going to be making. But that is us done here at the Eastbourne Railway. It's been good fun. He enjoyed it all, and another good day had. There's the shop. Yeah, shock. Yeah, for now, let's head home. That's the perfect time to end that video. Don't forget to hit the like button on this video. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. A huge thank you to our Life with Bridges family members. And remember, live for today. As tomorrow is never promised. We'll catch you in the next one, chaps.